Okay. The Ledge Group, Series LLC, is now called to order on 1/2/2017 at 3:14. Can I get an approval from a board member to begin this meeting?
I second.
Have a second.
Aye.
So,
Second.
the order of operations today, the agenda that we will go through, is first the call to order, which has been concluded. Second will be the executive board introduction and a quick bio relative to who we are. Third, we will go through the corporate structure, including the NDAs or the non-disclosure agreements, as well as the LLC structure. After, we're going to go to new business, and that includes Jamaica, the administrative teams, scheduling committee meetings, and then finally, we will have questions and answers in an open capacity, and we'll call to adjourn the meeting. It seems like a short agenda, but I'm a little long-winded. Okay. Do we have approval on the reading of that agenda? Is that it's true and accurate according to the board?
True enough.
Okay.
Second.
So, initially, we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Peter Brown, right? The CEO of the Ledge Group. I've been in IT for 25 years. I've been an educator for at least as long. I've been in alternative energy for as long as can be. I was that child that took apart the radio and turned it into a robot, right? And so I've been in the corporate world pretty much my entire life in various capacities, whether that is in legal firms, financial firms. I've been in the Big Five and throughout the corporate world. Hemp and the cultivation of various crops has always been a kind of a passion of mine, and kind of the Ledge Group is the culmination of many, many years of research and lobbying. I've worked with the various groups here in Massachusetts and throughout the states to try to push legislation forward to this day, and so those efforts culminate today, and so that is my position here as CEO. I pretty much lead our team, and will be embarking on many different projects throughout the world in short order. Okay, if we can have our compliance officer introduce yourself.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Akosua Ma'at, also known as Elizabeth. I am the corporate compliance officer. I have a background in law. And I'm here willing to serve and looking forward to working with each of you. Thank you, Peter.
Awesome. Malika, would you care to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Malika Jones, and I serve as the executive assistant for the Ledge Group. And I have over 20 years experience on the executive level for coordination with different companies and communication strategies. So I'm just here to help keep this puzzle together.
Excellent. And finally, our Chief Technology Officer. I'm sorry.
Hello, my name is Chilani, and as Chief Technology Officer, my experience goes back at least 10, 15 years in advanced web development, marketing, maintenance, digital currencies, as well as cryptocurrencies.
Thank you very much, sir. And finally, Chief Commercial Officer, Lisa Finkler.
Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Finkler, also known as Peter's wife. I've been in multimedia for over 15 years. I do graphic design, writing, editing, and image editing. I make videos. I do everything multimedia related, and I'm also the spokesperson of the Ledge Group.
Excellent. Thank you all very much. That concludes the introduction. There are other executive board members, and as we set up the various committees, there will be a board member in each of them to ensure that we all maintain a given structure and we maintain a standard as we move along as a group. So you will eventually get to meet all of the board members virtually, and my guess is before too many moons, we will all as a group get together and get to embrace physically. Okay, so do I have approval from the executive board members that the introductions are concluded and we can move forward?
Yeah.
Second.
Okay. We move now to corporate structure. Okay. Now, first and foremost, in this session, we will not be delivering to you any corporate assets. There will be no secrets shared in this session. Greetings. Who just joined?
Good afternoon. It's Lynn.
Who is that?
It's Lynn calling in from Texas.
Greetings to you, sister. All right. And somebody else, did they just come in as well?
Yeah, it's Isaiah Barber from Louisville, Kentucky.
My brother, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Not bad. You did not miss much, but it was rather important, so we will distribute the recording at the end that you can review what we have already covered. Okay. So now, corporate structure. As I said, we will not be sharing any company assets in this session today. What we require is a non-disclosure agreement to be signed by everyone. Okay. After the non-disclosure agreement has been signed and sent back in, then what we will do is, again, we can share intimate details related to exactly what we're going to do and exactly how you can be involved in what you can do right now. Okay. We've got hundreds of models that are ready to go and ready to be deployed. We have projects earmarked, as you know, in Jamaica, in Africa, and we're going to get into that in a moment. But most important is that we have the non-disclosure agreement in place. Okay. Now, we're going to have you all. So please, if you would remind me, Malika, this my board. There's a reason why I have that. Malika, are we sending them all to your email, or are we having them put their email address in the room?
You can send me an email, and then I will send the non-disclosure agreement to you.
To everyone.
And my
okay.
Yeah.
So
I can give you my email, or you want me to wait until later?
No, that's fine. We can type it into the room.
Okay.
And they will have access to it. If you all would, well, we'll get it typed into the room in a moment. But we're gonna send that email address out, and what you will do is shoot an email to hempinitiative@gmail.com, and she will send you a copy of the non-disclosure agreement. Okay, the time frame, the deadline for returning the non-disclosure agreement it correlates with when we return from Jamaica. Okay, those need to be signed, scanned. You can use e-sign, and Jelani will offer you information that relates to how to use that in the room. But you can either e-sign it, or you can download it, print it, sign it, scan it, and email it back to Sister Malika for processing. Okay, we need everybody to sign those NDAs. That is the first step in what we're doing. Okay. Sister Serenity, the invitation to this meeting was restricted only to the Grand Rising. Okay. It is only the members of the Grand Rising. And so I don't know if Brother Mpame is a member or not. Okay. The NDA is going to be sent to you by way of Malika Jones. It'll come from hempinitiative@gmail.com. Okay. So that brings us into the second section, the NDA. Again, I'll restate so that it is on the record and in the minutes. The deadline for the NDA to be sent, which is 1/11/20. Okay. Also send an email to executives@gmail.com, and she'll send you the NDA. Okay. Everyone in the room, send an email to Hemp Initiative. I'm breaking up. Are you not able to hear me clearly?
You were breaking in and out, but I can hear you now. You're good.
Okay. The deadline is the 11th, so that's 1/11/2017. That is the return from Jamaica. So we want to have those NDAs in place by that time. Okay. So now, any questions related to the NDAs? Excellent. Okay. The LLC and the structure. Okay. So the Ledge Group is a Series LLC. Our registered business address is 2905 Lake East Drive, Suite 105, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. I'm sorry. Copeland, what was your question? Copeland, you said you have a question? You can unmute your microphone and ask.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Yeah, it's just, is it too late for people to join the grant rising?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay. And so if I have somebody who I would like to join, should I just print out 2 NDAs, one for me and one for them as well?
Absolutely. I would have them also come into the group and fill out the committee selection form, as well as the skills sheet and the land questionnaire. Okay, we want everyone to fill those 3 things out so that we know what we have as a group.
I need to fill those out as well.
Okay, and I'll share those in the group at the end of the meeting.
Okay, awesome. I'm good.
Excellent. All right, thank you. So the Series LLC, the Ledge Group is a registered business in Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Okay. So with that in mind, what is Series LLC and the logic behind kind of using that really follows loosely behind Donald Trump. I shared in the room a PDF, and I strongly suggest that everybody get an opportunity to read it. But it speaks about how it is that Donald Trump does not pay taxes, and how it is that his money and how much he has is obscured even from the best CPAs in the world. And the way that Donald Trump does that is through the use of a Series LLC. Okay, so what the Ledge Group has done is we have purchased the LLC. We have our business license. We are, in fact, a registered business. What this gives us is the ability to form infinite LLCs below us, okay? Infinite LLCs. So what that means is we can establish for each and every single one of you your own business. Now, what you're going to have to do is, and I'm going to want to draw an image in your mind right now. Imagine that the Ledge Group is a capstone. The Ledge Group is a capstone, and all of the LLCs below are non-load-bearing bricks in the Great Pyramid, okay? What this allows us to do is it allows us to spin up businesses as we need. So, for example, we are going to Jamaica, and I'm going to kind of bundle a little bit. We're going to Jamaica. We're going to spin up business there, and that's going to have its own separate branch. And then we've got people that have land in Kentucky, and we're going to spin up business opportunities there on that land. Now, the way that this works is that each individual that is a member or is going to spin up an LLC needs to follow a standard relative to the way that you form and operate. Okay, so this is going to be an expansion for each and every one of us. All of us is going to grow. I say that to say that you are going to form your own board, right? You're going to form your own board. You're going to, as an LLC, as a legal entity, you're going to need to maintain meeting minutes. You're going to have a charter. You're going to have a mission statement. You're going to have all of the same things that you see at the capstone, which is why we come into this meeting and we demonstrate the order of operation. This is how we do things. We set agendas. We set milestones. We identify inhibitors. We have each member report from their specific task list as it relates to the project, and from there we move the milestones forward. This is how you manage a project. This is how you manage a corporation, and this is what each and every single one of us is going to duplicate. What does it look like in the end? In the end, it looks like each and every one of you running your own industry, and we're going to fuel it ourselves and with each other. How do we do that? Okay. Well, initial endeavors in Jamaica are going to be, we are looking at intelligently placing equipment in different places on the earth. Again, once the NDAs are in place, we can get into specifics, but these pieces of equipment are going to be owned day one, and they are going to produce products day one. Understand what that does. That puts us in a place where we don't have to conform to anyone's price point, right? We own the equipment. We own the facility to be able to grow our product, right? And we can process it into whatever it is that we need. We don't have to go into the market and conform to any pricing model anywhere on the planet Earth. Do you know what kind of power that is? That is power. So now, we deploy Project 1. We deploy Project 2. How does that relate to you back here at home? Well, with each project, generally speaking, there are 4 or 5 products that spring out from this initiative, right, in each site. So now we've got all these products, and these products are viable. They're the things that we're using every day. They're made in an eco-friendly capacity. We're making them more cheaply, and we can get them into markets everywhere more easily. So we spoke about a structure, right, and kind of how you respond or what you do day one. Again, assuming NDAs are in place, we'll speak about some very specific models. But short story is, at the when you are ready to form your LLC, you're going to either take one of the models that we have and run with that, or you're going to design your own, okay? But there's a couple of different ways that people come into this, right? There are some people that just have $400. And so if you have $400 and you just want to be an investor, fine. That's awesome. We love that. What you're going to get is you're going to get a business turnkey setup, an LLC. The LLC alone is quite valuable. And you will, as we go forward, you will discover some of the value associated with that LLC. That LLC is yours. That's your family business. We're not intervening. We're not telling you what to do in your business. None of those things. That's your business, okay? Now, when you submitted that $400, and what you get is you get wholesale access to every single product that is developed, whether that's coming from Jamaica, whether it's coming from Kenya, whether it's coming from anywhere in the world. You get wholesale accesses and distributorship wherever you are. We'll send you white label products. That means it's not branded. It is yours. You can brand it. So it doesn't matter whether or not you're getting a highly concentrated, cold-pressed oil that you're looking to make soaps with, or you're looking to make lotions with. It doesn't matter who else has those, because you will brand it yourself. This will be your family's business. Think Beatrice Foods, right? Think Beatrice Foods. Your children will never go looking to work for someone else again. okay? So that's the one model. The second model is that of someone that owns land, okay? And if they own land, and so now we're talking domestically, okay? All consumables will be produced on the other continents. We will produce all consumables on the other continents. One of our board members is a FDA compliance officer and a biochemist, an unbelievably remarkable young sister. And we also have a chemist in Jamaica that we're working, and again, developing products. Once we get the NDA, we'll be able to share. But what this means is, again, we're going to develop the consumables over where outside of the FDA scrutiny until America gets their act together, and when they're ready, we'll be able to strike the code. You've got millions of people that are standing in America waiting for America to get their act together so they can go into business. So they're sitting chomping at the bit. Hemp Inc. has spent $20 million, and it's sitting over there, and they're not growing hemp. They're waiting for the green light, okay? We're not going to do that. We're going all over the earth, and we're going to start building our facilities right this minute where we need it. Okay, so domestically speaking, we've got a brother with land in Kentucky. We've got a brother with land in Indiana. We've got brothers with land all over the United States of America. How do we use this? Okay, understand. Uber is the largest ride-sharing company in the world, and they do not own a single car, okay? They don't own one car. The Ledge Group does not want to own land. You own it. That's your land. What the Ledge Group will do is say, you've got 20 acres, awesome. What do you want to do on that 20 acres? Do you want to make soaps and these kinds of things? Fine. We'll build a facility to allow you to do that. Okay? And when we say facility, please don't let that scare you away. This doesn't need to be a monolith that's sitting there and it's bigger than your house. Many times, these machines and this equipment that's required is less than a room. We're not going to put it in your house and it's going to go clanking and no, right? We're going to secure our assets, and we're going to make sure that it's safe and that it is operable, and we're going to make sure that you're able to run that. Okay? We're going to provide that training. Okay, so now you're not going to work for anyone anymore, right? Whatever it is that you determine that you want to produce textiles, fine. Let's put the equipment there. You want to produce anything, that's fine. And again, the more of us that are producing, right, the less dependent we are on anyone else. So there's a dual-fold purpose here because, yes, we're going to enter the market, right? All of these things are sellable. People are buying these things every single day. We've got an eco-friendly product. We can deliver it quicker and easier than anyone on the planet Earth. It's clean. It's health-conscious. It's healthy, nature-conscious. We've got a great product, right? So we're going to play in the free market just like everybody else. But guess what? When we're producing our own toilet paper, when we're producing our own sneakers, our own hats, our own shirts, gloves, coats, tires, planes, cars, when we're producing these things from hempcrete, when we're producing these for ourselves, let me ask you something, who do we have to buy anything from? Right? If Isaiah has got toilet paper and I've got tires, who do we have to buy something from? So what we are doing is moving towards self-sufficiency, and we'll do it collectively. You understand? We will do it collectively. We are in need of a CPA, right? So each and every one of you are going to take an LLC. You are a brick in this pyramid, okay? And in your individual brick, you're going to run your business, okay? Now, we're all going to need to have our taxes done. So guess what we're going to do, my beloved? We're going to spin up a CPA LLC. We're going to start somebody as an accounting firm for themselves, and guess what happened? They've got 100 clients. Now, because they're a part of us, we're not going to have to pay the kind of fees that somebody else pays on the street, right? We came to them with a contract of 100 people, 100 businesses, right? And they're going to maintain the books and take care of all of our expenses, right? And if that CPA needs to hire 4 more people to keep up, well, then hire 4 more people, because 100 of these businesses are paying them, and we're going to keep them afloat, and you won't have to worry about your taxes, right? When we need a travel agent, guess what we're going to do? We're going to spin up an LLC, and that will be our travel agent, and they will serve us for corporate travel. And guess what? They've got 100 clients, and each of those clients have got a board of 10 people. Guess what? We've built a viable and sustainable business. So every single service, every single product is in the targets. They're in the crosshairs. We will cultivate what we need from internally. We will start you as a business. We will put you on your feet, and you will serve a purpose for yourself. Okay. Now, in the case of land versus equipment, where the Ledge Group is going to place equipment on your land, it could not be clearer than this. We put the equipment on your land. We will give you training. We will potentially provide you seed if you need. We will potentially provide you assistance, right? You will grow your crops. You will run your business. And we, the Ledge Group, will take 51%. You, the owner, will take 49%. Just that clear. No one is as even as that in any business at all. You take 49%, you keep it. And that is your family's industry forever. Forever. So as strong as each of us is, makes all of us stronger. Okay? This is not easy, it's simple. It's simple. And the structure of the Series LLC provides the framework by which we build this out completely legally, and go across the world and free our own. We call it self-pay reparations. Self-pay reparations. Let me tell you something. I've been a member of many different groups on Facebook. I've been a member of many different groups and different agendas, and guess what? Each of them had a single common component, that they were going to go somewhere, I don't care where it was, go somewhere and hope that they would be accepted in, right? This is our plight, that somehow they would be able to do something that would allow them to accept them in. I promise you today that the Ledge Group and the Grand Rising is not going anywhere on the planet Earth with our hat in our hand. We are bringing industry. We are bringing infrastructure upgrade. We are bringing jobs. We are coming through invitation all over the planet Earth. You will be going by invitation only. Everyone will seek you to come through. And that is a dichotomy shift. It is important that each and every one of us grow in the various areas that we have. And it is also important that we emulate each other and maintain a lockstep structure when we move into, so I'm going to leave that for a second. We're going to jump into that in one moment. But the structure is a vastly important element in order to ensure that not only domestically and individually that each one of us is growing, right, and is profitable, but it also firms those ties across the globe, where we will reach out to every country in the diaspora, and we have a product with 50,000 products that we can create. We know what they need. In Kenya, 80% of their fiber is being imported from China. 80% of their fiber is being imported from China. We have available to us 53,000 acres of land in Kenya. We hold a permit in hand. We are going to take that and change that scenario for them entirely. Isaiah, can I ask you to hold that question for a moment? We are going to have a Q&A at the end. There's just a lot of data I want to get through, and I want to make sure that I kind of touch on all the points that we wanted to this afternoon. Okay, please, I do want to hear that question. I want, if you would, write it down. That way we can, in fact, address it. Okay. So that really kind of wraps the LLC and the way that structure looks, what is expected of us. I didn't speak to the timetable. So again, we are a Series LLC already. So what does that mean? It means that for you, so if you were to go start an LLC, right? People have asked, well, why didn't we do it in Wyoming? Why didn't we do it in Delaware? Should I go do this to get my LLC? You don't need to do a thing. We already purchased the LLC. If you wanted to go get an LLC, you can. It'll cost you about $1,500 to set up and about $800 a year maintenance. You can do that, okay? But what the Series LLC does is it allows us to create infinite child LLCs, okay? And the reason that this is intelligent, and I kind of ran off on a tangent, the reason that this is intelligent is because it is a limited liability corporation. You cannot be sued or affect any peer LLC or any vertical LLC. So each cell is on its own bottom. It cannot hurt anyone else, but we still have the full protection and structure of LLC everywhere in the world, okay? Furthermore, when we speak about the structure and kind of the way that it's going to go forward, we're going to, again, there's the consultation services that are going to come along with your obtaining that LLC. And those consultation services are going to show you such things as setting up your charitable foundation. Oh, we're taking a little page from Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, people. Setting up your charitable foundations, scholarships in your children's names, these kinds of things which will allow you to engage in fundraising activities that will pay your family directly. Furthermore, it allows you shelters where if you needed to take money from a 401k or anything like that, you can take that dispersal without having a 33% hit because you're sending it to a charitable foundation, okay? These are the kinds of things the consultant services that are going to be available to you. We're going to devise a content management system which will allow you to pick through a series of kind of ready-built websites for your business, and we'll have that available to every LLC. So what I'm describing is bigger than an octopus. We have the hands and the ability to do everything that we need to. What we do is we cultivate a business, we invest in each other. Now, when you have an LLC as well, you also are able to instantly write off a component of your house. You start to put advertising on your car, you can write that off. Once you've got a charitable foundation, you can put commercial plates on your car. There is no end to what we are able to do with this vehicle, okay? If you don't own land and you have just the $400 that you wanted to invest, then what you can do is become a wholesale vendor. You will get wholesale access to 100% of the products that we have being developed by way of the hemp, okay? You also get the benefits of consultancy services and member expertise. So your business is stood up. You're standing on your own based on the umbrella, the family, okay? So that concludes the LLC, and I'm going to move along for the sake of time. Again, we want to be very respectful of time. All of these things go into the meeting minutes, and I'm going to let Malika speak to you as it relates to that. We're going to move with approval from the board member. Do I have approval to move on to new business?
Yes.
Yes, second.
Okay, so that has been approved. We have a second. New business, Jamaica. 2 days from now, we're touching down in Jamaica. We're going to stay a night in Kingston because we're going to get there very late into the evening. So we're going to stay in Kingston. And then we're going to a land, the land of the Maroons. The Maroons are a free people. They fought and defeated the British 276 years ago. How can I be so exact? Because I will be at the 276th annual celebration of the defeating of the British and the signing of their treaty, which makes them a free people. This is perhaps one of the only places on the planet Earth that a person will ever step where there is no colonial rule, no French, no Spanish, no British, none. These people live free. There has not been a crime committed in Akampong in 275 years. These are free people, okay? So we're going, and we are going to sit down with the Maroons. Now, I'm going to meet with, and Again, I've forgotten his title. I will have it written down and in my wallet, and I will study it and make sure that I know his title. But we are going to sit down, and I'm bringing to him gifts. He is the highest elder in the for the Maroons there, the administrator, if you will. And I've brought a bag of gifts for him, and I thought it would be fitting for me to bring the gifts that they gave to Christ, and that was the frankincense, the myrrh, and the amber resins with incense burners and these kinds of things. And so I'm prepared to present them with gifts, and we're going to present them with some books that will go for their library and some other things. What we intend to do is what no outsider has. No outsider has, okay? What was that? And so what we are going to do, really no one has done, okay? And they don't want the Western influence. They don't want the Western world. They have not struck any deals with anybody. They don't. They are a very isolated people. They're beautiful people. We look forward to being in that celebration with them. But Jamaica is going to absolutely be a really valuable move. And I think the truth of that will be clearly highlighted on the return. Again, at the point of return, everyone will have their NDAs in, and we can share a lot more information. Okay? At this point, we're going to move on and speak about the administrative team. Malika, if I can get you to jump in and share a few words with them.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Malika Jones. I'm the executive assistant for the Ledge Group. I'm excited to have the opportunity to speak with you about the administrative team. Currently, I serve as the chairperson of the administrative committee. This team is important because we'll be charged with maintaining and taking minutes at all the committee meetings. So the Ledge, all the committees that are under the Ledge, we're going to be responsible for taking all the minutes. Currently, we have about roughly 15 different committees, and we only have 8 admins, and we're in need of maybe 8 to 10 more. Each admin will be in one of the committee meetings, and it's really, really, really important that we take this seriously, because in order to conduct business properly, we need to take minutes, and the minutes need to be accurate. And I think pretty much that's it. If you are interested in being on the admin team, you can email me at hempinitiative@gmail.com. That's HEMPINITIATIVE@gmail.com. And once we can get enough admins in place, we can move forward with starting the committee meetings. Peter, did you want to add anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. That she kind of understates what she does. I can tell you, we are a difficult board. Now, I joke and I say that we're a difficult board. The truth is that we run according to Robert's Rules of Order. Okay. Robert's Rules of Order we run according to. So it's not really difficult as it relates to the board. It's kind of standard, right? We speak about milestones, agendas. We speak about those things that, the deliverables, things that people were supposed to get done, where they are on those, if there's going to be any delays, whether or not that pushes back or forward the project. All of these kinds of things are necessary to move forward in a cohesive manner. The administrators are the ones that snap that whip. They're going to keep you really in shape. So this is a very disciplined and regimented method in which we go forward, and we do so in a standard manner. And your administrative assistant is going to really help you with that. Furthermore, the administrative assistant's duties are again, it's a big job. pretty much everywhere that I go in the world, I intend to have Malika with me. I need her support at all given times, right? And so this is a hard job, and only the brave, only the few, the brave, and the stalwart are ready for this position. But again, as she said, we do need some admins. And as soon as we have them, we can, in fact, begin to schedule those committee meetings because we need an admin per meeting, okay? So based on that and bearing in mind that the entire structure and everything that we do here are based on the principles of Mayat. They are all based on the principles of Mayat, okay? And so, again, we want to maintain that. We want to keep that focus and discipline that we've spoken about. And if we do these things uniformly, there is no chance that we fail. So again, if you are interested in being an administrative assistant and taking that role, please send an email to hempinitiative@gmail.com. Specify that you wanted to be an admin, and we will get you involved, get some meetings set up, get some standardization happening, and then we'll move forward. Okay? So that was, in fact, we moved through this one pretty good. Look at this, 3:55. And we have now gone through the scheduled committee meetings. And so we spoke briefly about the NDA and how that was going to get to you. Everyone's sending an email to hempinitiative@gmail.com in order to get that. Our CTO is going to prepare something, I think, at some point that will show you how to use e-sign and Adobe so that you can e-sign those documents. Further, outside of that ability, you can also print them, sign them, scan them, and email them back to hempinitiative@gmail.com. Okay? So now, at this point, we are prepared to field any questions, comments, anything.
I'll go if nobody wants to go first.
Yes, sir. Who is that?
Okay,
please
my
state
name
your
is
name
Barber.
before you ask your question. Yes, sir. Please state your name. That way we all know who's talking.
Okay, my name's Isaiah Barber, and this was back to something you said about we had land in Kentucky. You said we had a brother in Kentucky. I was just wanting a little bit more information because, of course, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. So if there's a way I can reach out, be a part of something that he's got going on already, I would like more information on that. And also, I would like to talk about the relocation opportunities because this is going to take some people to be moving around. We're not going to be stationary, right? So can you speak on that a little bit more? Like, what's the travel going to be like, and what will be required from the members?
Yes, excellent question. So, first and foremost, where we speak about relocation, we are talking about temporary. And the way that will most likely be achieved is, again, we are going to set up a charitable foundation. And that charitable foundation will take a couple of different groups of people. Ex-cons, people that have just been released, if they can, in fact, travel. Anybody that is in the city, any brothers and sisters that are in the city that need to get out, that are industrious, that are willing, we will absolutely, again, engage in fundraising events to get them sent over to Nairobi, right? Over to Kenya to work, over to Jamaica to work. And they're going to work with the farmers there, and they're going to work with the people towards a given task. Now, each person that goes out is going to stay out 2 seasons. That's 2 harvests. 2 harvests is a total of 6 months. At 6 months, they become eligible for the foreign tax credit, which gives them a $90,000 tax deduction. So everything that they've made for that entire 6 months comes back to them, okay? So with that in mind, when they come back to the United States, they are now ready to move up into the next tier of investment, right? At that point, they're able to afford that $400, invest that money, and let's move forward, okay? So when we speak about relocation and various travel is really going to be driven by your LLC. Now, I certainly might tap any one of you, and again, this is why it is important for us to have those skill sheets populated, the land sheets populated, and the committee sheets. It's very important because I might absolutely tap any one of you to accompany me or one of the executive board members to go to Nairobi, to go to Venezuela, to go to Guyana, and look at some of this land and look at some of these things that we may or may not do in a given area. So we absolutely need everybody to have their passports and everybody to be ready to move. The other component to that is when you develop your LLC, guess what? You've got, and I'm telling you, I'm really proud, I'm really glad we have the social media. If Marcus Garvey had a social media, what would that man have done, right? So you've got social media. You have all got contacts, okay? Once those NDAs are in place, we're going to roll out some of these models. And some of you are going to have your own business models, and that's exactly what we want to see. You shake out your own business model. Pete, team, we're looking to, I need an LLC because this is what my business model is. Excellent. We'll look at that. We're gonna review it. We're gonna ask questions. We're gonna push back. We're gonna have you push back. We're gonna fine tune that, and then we're gonna put in place whatever is needed to be able to make that happen. So if your LLC wants to do business and intends to do business over in the UK, or if you intend to do business over in Australia, or if you intend to do business in Nigeria, we support you. We support you. You've got a team of people behind you, resources behind you. We've got, and I won't go too far, but we've got people that have influence in the State Department. We've got an awful lot of resources available to ensure that you can get where you need to go. Okay. Did that answer your question, Isaiah?
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Any other questions?
I have a question. Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is Link Green out of Plainfield, New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
My question is, you spoke about wholesale opportunities.
Yes.
Will these wholesale opportunities equally be split amongst LEDs as well, like the revenue that we gain off of those wholesale products?
That
Will
is
it be
your
like a
money.
51? Oh, okay.
No.
And
everything that you make on them wholesale opportunities, that's yours.
Okay, so we purchased the products from you.
Yep.
Okay, will do. And my other question was, I know we have to get the NDA in order before we can get that many details, but I'm wondering because I am one of those people who has my money in a thrift savings plan with, like an IRA. So
yep.
I need to withdraw that money, and I'm wondering how soon I will need to withdraw that money. I know you can't give me an exact date. Should I have it on hand now? How would that work?
I would say leave it at a year. It's interest bearing right now. It's interest bearing right now. I say leave that there. When it's time to pull the trigger, nobody that we're going to pull the trigger with is going to be in dire straits, right? What we're doing here is something that they couldn't do it for themselves, right? So when we pull the trigger, it's not going to be an immediate need. Nobody's going to need you to say, okay, I need you all to get that in there right. No, it's not going to be that way. Okay, it's not going to be that immediate. Now, I can to give you some sort of a time frame. My expectation is most likely 120 days after I return from Jamaica, we got products. Okay, most likely 120 days, maybe a little more, a little less, but that's my guess. Furthermore, I would like to have in tandem things working on the African continent, which is also quite possible. If that helps at all as it relates to a time frame.
Yes, definitely. I'd be interested as well. I do have passports for myself and my family.
I love it. Brother Copeland, you said you have a question?
Yeah. So the business that we're creating or that we have, let's say that we need help with the business, is that also a part of the consulting that we got going on here?
It can be. It definitely can be. When you say help with the business, can you be a little more specific?
Well, I'm not really. The thing is just that I don't really know what type of business I would want to be starting if I was. I'm still working my way through that at this point. So but I know that I want to do something. Like, I know that I'm going to do something. and it's just a matter of getting that sharpened because, you know, I didn't come in as a businessman.
My brother, and you know what?
Yeah.
That is what this is all about, is us growing. Because I got to tell you something. I got a good brain, man, and I've been focused on hemp for an awfully long time, and I got some good ideas. But guess what? I can't do it all. I don't know it all, and this is why I have an executive board around me. They sharpen me. They keep me straight. We are able to move forward cohesively based on group efforts and checks and balances that allow us to vet and validate every single thing that we're doing every step of the way. So yes, the answer to your question is we definitely have some consultation where we can sharpen your steel and make sure that you're going to be able to be a viable player in whatever market you choose.
Okay, cool.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Lynn. How will the solar play into the whole paradigm? I'm interested in teaching solar so that we can prepare people to work on the farms and things. How will that work together?
I love it. Great question. It's not just going to be solar. It's going to be solar, it's going to be wind, and it's going to be water. We're going to use everything to generate power. A really big component of this is self-sufficiency, right? We are currently slaves to convenience. Because it is convenient for us to plug it in, we submit to the things that we see in our lives today. Because conveniently these things are prepared for us, our food is prepackaged, we eat that food that isn't really any nutrition. So we absolutely intend to be completely self-sufficient. Where you're talking about irrigating crops, we're going to use solar and gravity-based irrigation systems. Where we're talking about power for warmth, all of these are going to be augmented power solutions. Wind turbines. Now, when I say water, I'm talking about vertical wind turbines that sit in the water and spin. So when you've got, and we're coming, it's not giving away too much, but the place that we're going in Accompong, there is a spring, and so that water is coming from the top of a mountain. It's coming out of a hot spring, and it comes down the mountain rocks, and it gets cooled. And by the time it gets down to the stream where they drink it, it's a perfect 7.2 alkaline water. Perfect 7.2 delicious water, crisp coming off. Well, it's also coming down the rocks. You can hammer and chisel some areas into the rocks and affix a vertical turbine that will sit there, and as long as that water is running down, that turbine will spin. Well, that's connected to an inverter, and that passes power off to whatever application you need. So we're absolutely going to use every single method that we can to not have to pay anybody. At the end of the day, that's what it is. Because again, if you're making one product and 30 other people next to you in your groups and in our organization are making other products, well then again, why are we going to go have somebody else do our taxes? We've got a CPA that's doing it for us. Why would we go and buy toilet paper from someone else when we got somebody that's producing it? So in a very real way, we become our own foundation. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Now, I got to tell you another thing, people, and I sure am hoping that there's some people that are willing for this. And this is really, you know, I don't want to point nobody in the direction, but I'll tell you. So we have opportunities for people to potentially repatriate. And the reason that is because I don't have any intention of putting a $50,000 piece of equipment in Nigeria and hope that my equipment fits where I left it. You know, this is just not a thing I'm going to do. So we need to have operations managers. We need to have managers that are dispatched to different parts of the world, potentially. Ghana, right? With citizenship and the ability for you to permanently relocate. So anyone who has designs on repatriating and going to the continent, please make yourself known, because Again, we will have need for that, okay? We will have need for stewards over some of those shops and jobs. Okay.
I have a
Any other questions?
Yes.
I have one.
Hi, I'm Nigel Seeley, and I just had a question. So I'm a social worker in the state of New York, a licensed social worker, and I'm very much impressed and very interested in what is being said. But I just wanted to know if you have any ideas or, any sort of sense of direction you could give me about what I can do as a social worker. I currently work in the field of mental health, work in a residential setting with adults with mental illness. So I just wanted to see where I fit in this.
There are amazing, amazing strides happening every day and all throughout the earth as it relates to the application of CBDs and specific concentrates and applications to people that have disorders. And there are great, great strides that are happening. The problem is this: the FDA and the United States of America are having a really hard time getting out of their own way. This is in 1932, Popular Science said hemp is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. The United States of America doesn't know how to profit from it. They don't know how to regulate it. They don't know how. So they're dragging their feet, and as a result of it, people are being cured from diseases, and there's really wonderful treatments. Now, I will say, New York State happens to be one that does have a medical marijuana program. In that vein, there are absolutely potential applications that I could consider as it relates to social work. But further, certainly I encourage you all to go and look at our affiliate, and that is at Cancer Canna Center. Cancer Canna Center. And what you'll see there is people being cured from their ailments. There's 375 testimonials of people that have gone there and been cured. This is very similar to what Dr. Sebi had in Honduras. And all over the world, you're seeing these kinds of centers popping up. They're not coming to America, so nobody comes to America to get well, right? I don't care if it's mental health. I don't care if it's physical health. Nobody comes to America to get well, okay? What they're doing is they're going outside of the country. They're going to Honduras. They're going to the Caymans. They're going to Jamaica. They're going to these different places, Hawaii. And that is what the model that we're going to follow, at least for now until the FDA gets out of their own way. But there are indeed models that I have in mind. There is absolutely a need for social workers in this movement. I mean, we ain't got that much time on the clock, but I could certainly sit down and use to talk to somebody. I ain't. So I say that there's definitely models that can be employed using this matrix. Absolutely, brother.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Indeed. There was a sister that had a question.
Yes, I'm Kay Dixon.
How you doing, sister?
I'm all right. My mom sent me into the Ledger group. She's been talking about it for a little while now. Her and my stepfather, who is over in Ghana. My mom is a dual citizen of Accra, Ghana, and she has a home in Sacramento, California.
Ooh.
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and want to know what can we do with the land that we have over in Ghana. And we've talked about hemp. We've been following. I follow Hemp Inc. personally for the past few years, being that we're on top of like the cannabis industry. I'm a card holder of the MMJ card in Sacramento, a patient. So is my mother. We looked at growing and cultivating, but we just want to know what should we do with the land.
You got a lot of opportunity. Now, first and foremost, I don't know whether or not Mom is taking care of this, but she absolutely qualifies for the foreign tax credit, okay? The foreign tax credit gives her a $90,000 tax deduction every single year. It's retroactive 7 years. So she can go back 7 years and redo her taxes and take a $90,000 deduction off the rip. Now, if she is married, your spouse also gets a $90,000 tax deduction. So the two of them together get a $180,000 tax deduction going back 7 years if they redo their taxes.
Okay.
All right? So now, that's one thing. Ghana is a hotbed, my sister. Oh, my goodness. Let me tell you something. I'm having 4 conversations a week from Ghana with people. Look, you know what? Here's what it is, and I don't know if anybody else is aware, but Ghana just held their elections, and there is a very promising administration that is coming in. This administration is interested in industry. This administration is a very progressive, and there is a lot of positive energy around this administration. There's also unprecedented access. People have got access where perhaps they had not before. So Ghana is a hotbed right now. Ghana is a hotbed right now. The problem in all of the African countries would be the same, understanding the difference between hemp and marijuana. Okay, you've got a couple of different kinds of scenarios. Okay, one scenario is an organization that sees the value of hemp or marijuana based on the prison population. Okay, based on the prison population, where you see them enacting laws, it's because they intend to lock people up the same way the United States of America has. It's very, very lucrative. Then you have other countries and nations that are pretty ignorant to it, what it is, what it can do. And again, this has been the modus operandi of colonizers to underdevelop these nations, to underdevelop Haiti, to underdevelop Jamaica, to underdevelop Africa, so that they couldn't do for themselves, so that their resources could be exploited, right? So when you say what can we do in Ghana, it is really a matter of, and again, I've got people on the ground that are working on it, but it is really a matter of getting the opportunity to grow hemp in there. And if we can get the opportunity to grow hemp in Ghana, anyone gets a permit, then we set it off. There is an awful lot. Again, what we look at is what Ghana is currently importing. Right now, China has got a stranglehold all over the continent. China is sending their men in to impregnate young sisters in Ghana so that they can gain citizenship and control over the land. That's happening right now. That's happening right as we speak. So China has a foothold all through Africa. So what we need to do is we need to cultivate homegrown business. Furthermore, you have people that are born in Africa that are deciding, children that are deciding that greater opportunity exists for them outside of the continent. And so they're leaving Africa in droves. They're leaving Africa in droves. What we need to do, and what happens if you leave your land, right? What happens if you leave your land and act like you don't care about it? Well, what happens is somebody moves in and they take that land, right? And this is what they're looking to do. So what we need to do is we need to infuse that area with opportunity, okay? Okay, one second. Yeah, there is a list of committees. It's in the room, and we'll share that form so you can pick through them. So what we need to do is we need to infuse those people there in Ghana with a sense of opportunity and share and belonging. Once they see that there is industry that can be built there, that can be very lucrative, they won't look to leave as quickly. So to answer your question, what is the first thing you can do? Get a permit to grow. Get a permit to grow hemp. If you do that, it's on and popping.
Okay.
If you need assistance, let us know. If
we
you
do.
need something, what do you need?
Assistance.
You need assistance in getting a permit there?
Yep. We need assistance in a lot of things because my mom, she just came back. She went over there for the elections, And you know, she doesn't know which way to go, but she knows that she was like, this sounds really good. I really feel like, you know, this is where we need to be. So we need a lot of assistance.
The real help that we can offer here is in relation to resource, right? Things that we can bring to bear. But what we need is the ins and outs on the ground. We need somebody that has the ear of chieftains, of parliament, of these different levels where they can in fact kind of push the agenda. Okay.
My stepfather, he's there. He's always between. He's got property in Liberia. He's got property over there. He's trying to sell now, but you know how they do business in Africa. You know, pay half now, half later, and that's always the issue with the way that they do things.
Yeah.
He's there, so you know he can be our eyes and ears 24/7.
How much land does he have in Liberia?
I'm not sure. But they have, my mom said when she was there, you know, they had a couple properties, like, you know, that he's inherited. He's got properties that he's not even taken up.
Okay. I would strongly suggest tell them not to sell them properties if they can. Hold on to them, because we definitely will. Again, it's only a matter of time. And when it happens, you're sitting on gold. If 1 acre of land can produce 7 tons of hemp, of raw hemp, you're sitting on gold. If it can produce airplanes and boats and cars and biofuels and toilet paper and everything that those people in Ghana are buying today, you're sitting on a gold mine, right? So, Sister Akosua, you said something about a sister for her to be in contact with, and I'm not sure who that is.
Her name.
Yes, there is a sister out of out of Ghana. Her name is Gifty Survey Dunn. In fact, she lives in Canada, but she is now in her family in Ghana, who are very well positioned. So I would, if you can send me your email, I can perhaps put the two of you in contact to see if she can give you any insight about the property in Ghana.
What's the email?
The email, you can send it, if you send it to Malika, the same hemp initiative, so that we don't confuse things too much, and just put relative to, in your subject line, property in Ghana, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
The hempinitiative@gmail.com.
Let's see, is that in the chat?
Yes, and I can resend it, so we can have it more recent posting. I'll do that now.
Awesome. Were there any questions? Yeah.
Yes, I have a question. My name is Surabi Jensi. I'm in the Bronx, New York area. Is everybody here?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. I am not well versed in all of this. So I'm very new at this. How can I go about and educating myself so I can really play a role on this? Because right now I'm speaking with several people in Latin America. Spanish is my first language, and I want to bring this to Latin America, especially to the marginalized regions where, the regions where most African people live in Latin America. In Colombia, in Dominican Republic, these regions that are ravaged by poverty. But I don't know how to go about in bringing this information. I'm speaking right now with a friend in El Choco, which is the Pacific coast of Colombia. He's an agriculturist by trade. But I'm not sure. I spoke to him about this initiative, but I don't think I'm really getting his attention because I'm not prepared to really present this in a professional manner. Like, he's used to working with politicians also in Colombia, and I'm also talking with somebody in Venezuela in regards to this, but I don't feel prepared. How can I go about?
Yeah. So what we can do is, what I can do, if you would send an email to Malika Alfordia, Malika. If you would send an email to Malika, then what we'll do is we can get you marketing materials. Again, it's contingent upon the NDA, but we can get you marketing material. Now, again, they're going to be in English, but it spells out. What did you say?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
It's going to spell out every element, really. First, it kind of educates as it relates to hemp and what it can do, okay? But then further, we can speak about kind of the model of what we can do there in Venezuela. So our proposal is very simple. We don't, you've got land, we've got equipment and capacity. So we can come there and we can place equipment in place. We can hire locals to do the work and give them jobs. We can give them a share in something that they build and will be their industry forever. Again, the same way that we're doing this domestically is the way that we're going to do it there. They are going to have that's theirs. That's theirs. Okay, that will be their industry. They will pump out that product.
Okay.
Okay, so if you think about it this way, if they decided, okay, so imagine this way, very simply. They've got 100 acres. The hemp, 1 acre can grow 7 tons of hemp. And hemp can turn into 50,000 products. Everything from cars, to boats, to food, to lotions, everything. 50,000 products. So all they've got to choose is what product makes the most sense for them. What does it make sense? What is it that they're importing from someone else that's killing them? What do they want to make in-house? And that is what we can do. We can allow them to produce whatever it is that they need nationally, and take a bite out of the cost that the cost of living today.
Now, my concern is, since Colombia is a place that is ravaged by paramilitary activities, specifically in the black population, indigenous populations, how can we go around that? What committee, I don't know if you're understanding where I'm heading with all of this, in order to be able to help our people there, you know.
Here's the problem.
I think that's one of the reasons. Sorry, I think that was one of the reasons why my friend was a little bit hesitant in helping me, because he knows what he's going to have to put up with.
Yep, and he's right. He's very right, because and there is no way around that. What you need to do is have your own military. The moment they figure out what you're doing, the moment they determine how lucrative it is, they're coming to take it. And there's no way around that. But understand, this is what we are preparing for. We know this very well. The Koch brothers, who run all of the media and run all of the products, they're coming. They are coming for us. Every single one of these players, because we are entering into a market where we don't have to conform to their price model. We don't have to take how much they're taking for toilet paper. I can charge $1 for ours, and we're going to take market share. So this is going to be a very dangerous thing, really, everywhere, okay, everywhere, because we're changing the entire structure of the way this goes. When we can produce this for ourselves, when we own the equipment, when we can process this, and this is a machine, look, I don't need to take $10 for a couple of rolls of toilet paper. I'm pumping it out like it's nothing, right? So it gets very dangerous. Now, very quickly, before the time, it is now 4:28. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, and I don't want anyone to go anywhere for the sake of meeting minutes and for the sake of the structure of the Ledge Group LLC's meetings. what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to adjourn the meeting. Again, this is for the recording, and I do not want anyone to go. This is to close it up for the meeting minutes. So I move to adjourn the Ledge Group LLC meeting at on January 2nd, 2017 at 4:29. Do I have a second?
A second.
The Ledge Group meeting is now adjourned.